What if I told you that some of the strangest creatures on Earth aren't hiding on another planet? They're right here. There are animals that can survive without oxygen for hours, animals that can regrow parts of their own bodies, and one tiny creature that can literally turn its enemies into a smoking disaster. The wild is full of animals that sound like they were invented for a science fiction movie, but every single one of them is real. So today, we're going to meet 7 of the most incredible animals on our planet. And trust me, number 1 is going to be hard to believe. Let's start with an animal that looks like it accidentally escaped from a cartoon. Meet the axolotl. At first glance, it doesn't look particularly dangerous. In fact, it looks almost too cute to be real. But here's where things get crazy. An axolotl has an incredible ability to regenerate parts of its body. Lose a limb, it can grow it back. And we're not just talking about skin. This little amphibian can regenerate bones, muscles, nerves, and even parts of its heart and spinal cord. Imagine getting injured and your body simply saying, "Don't worry, we'll build another one." Scientists have been studying axolotls for years because their regenerative abilities could potentially teach us a lot about how damaged human tissue might one day be repaired. And the strangest part? The axolotl isn't some ancient monster. It's a real animal living in Mexico. Now let's go underwater, because if the animal world had a master of disguise, it would probably be the octopus. Octopuses can change the color and appearance of their skin to blend into their surroundings, but some species take this to another level. The mimic octopus can imitate the appearance and movements of other animals. Sea snakes, lionfish, flatfish. It's basically the animal kingdom's version of, "Who do you want me to be today?" And there's something even more impressive. An octopus doesn't have to completely disappear to fool a predator. Sometimes, changing its color, texture, and body shape is enough to make a predator look right past it. But the octopus isn't just a master of camouflage, it's also remarkably intelligent. They can solve puzzles, manipulate objects, and learn from experience. Which makes you wonder, how smart does an animal have to be before we stop calling it just an animal? Now let's go from one of the smartest animals in the ocean to one of the biggest, the sperm whale. These giants spend much of their lives in an environment that would be completely deadly to us, the deep ocean. Some sperm whales can dive thousands of meters below the surface, and down there, it's pitch black. The pressure is enormous, and yet these animals are perfectly adapted to it. They use powerful clicks for echolocation, essentially creating a kind of sound-based map of the world around them. And those clicks can be incredibly powerful. A sperm whale can produce some of the loudest sounds made by any animal on Earth. Think about that for a second. We're talking about an animal that can disappear into the darkness of the deep sea, and then navigate that darkness using sound. It's almost like having sonar built directly into your head. But what if you can move through the air at more than 300 kilometers per hour? You'd probably feel pretty unstoppable. That's the peregrine falcon. When it dives toward prey, it can reach speeds of over 300 kilometers per hour. That makes it the fastest animal on Earth when measured by diving speed. And here's the incredible part. At those speeds, the falcon isn't just falling through the sky, it's hunting. It has to control its body, track its target, and make incredibly precise movements while moving faster than most cars ever travel. One tiny mistake and the hunt is over. Evolution has essentially turned this bird into a living missile, except this missile has feathers. Now we're gonna make things much smaller. Much smaller. Meet the tardigrade, also known as the water bear. And honestly, water bear might be the cutest name for one of the toughest organisms on Earth. Tardigrades are microscopic creatures that can survive conditions that would destroy most life. Extreme temperatures, very little water, and even the vacuum of space under certain experimental conditions. How? When conditions become extremely harsh, a tardigrade can enter a state called cryptobiosis. Its metabolism drops dramatically, and it essentially shuts itself down until conditions improve. It's almost like hitting the pause button on life. And this is why tardigrades are so fascinating. They're tiny, they're weird, and somehow they're ridiculously difficult to kill. And finally, number 1, an animal that, in a very strange way, can escape aging. Meet Turritopsis dohrnii, better known as the immortal jellyfish. Now, immortal doesn't mean it can never die. A predator can still eat it, disease can still kill it. But here's what makes this jellyfish extraordinary. When it becomes injured or reaches a certain stage of its life cycle, it can essentially reverse its development. Instead of simply continuing to age, it can return to an earlier stage of life. It's a little like an adult human somehow becoming a baby again, and then growing up all over again. Scientists are still studying exactly how this process works, so while we definitely shouldn't expect humans to become immortal anytime soon, this tiny jellyfish has already shown us that nature is capable of doing things we once thought were impossible. That's the crazy thing about our planet. We often think we've already seen everything nature has to offer, but somewhere beneath the ocean, inside a rainforest, or hiding under a rock, there could be another creature doing something even stranger. So which animal surprised you the most? The regenerating axolotl, the shape-shifting octopus, or the tiny beetle with a chemical weapon? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to discover more of the wildest creatures on Earth, subscribe to Wild Uncovered, because trust me, we've barely scratched the surface.